So next up in my Neovim config is the autocommand section. This one right here, the upper one, is an autocommand that makes it able that you go to the last location when you open a buffer. So sometimes you have a very long file and it opens where you left off. So this is quite handy, and it's just a few lines of code that you add. This autocommand I stole from Maria Solano, a very active and inspiring contributor to the Neovim project. Check out her config, I linked it below. Next up is an autocommand that includes the highlight effect for yanked text. So it's just this right here. Just a very, very quick highlight effect for the text that I want to yank. It's built into Vim, and it's a very straightforward function that I use here. You can set it here to different times, so it could be 200, 400, or whatever you want. Some people like to see the highlight effect for longer than just 40, I think it's milliseconds. But I just want a straightforward, just this right here, makes it very flashy and precise. Let's go to the next one. This is a very new one. The Neovim team included an undo-tree plugin into Neovim. So the undo-tree plugin is now built in. So I removed the external undo-tree plugin that I included into my config. So I added just the built-in undo-tree. So this code here loads the undo-tree when you open Neovim, and when you type the command undo-tree, then it opens the undo-tree here right away. So next up is Zen mode. It is just this here, with a little key map. For me, it's leader ZZ or leader ZZ, or however you say it. The buffer you're in gets focused, so you can kind of just focus on whatever you're doing right now. I don't do it that often, but I sometimes use it for video calls that I'm in when I want to show some code and I want people just to see right in the middle, very focused and zoomed in what I'm working on. So you got some options here to configure the window, and also do you want the absolute or relative line numbers here. I got one function here that I open with leader ZZ that opens the buffer in a focused window like this, including the line numbers. And I got one configuration right here that spares the line numbers. So this falls under the category of plugin that is nice to have, but definitely not a must-have. Another plugin that is very handy is the surround plugin. So there are different versions, and I use and like the one by Echasnovsky, or however you say his name, who does the whole mini plugin suite. So I just use the mini.surround plugin by him. So maybe you just want to delete the quotation marks here. You do DS and then quotation marks, and it's gone. So that's as quick as possible, I guess. Or you want to change the quotation marks to something else. You do, in my config, it is CS, then quotation marks, and then maybe you want to do this right here. So it doesn't make sense here, but it's just to show you how I'm using it. Here I added the option to visually select code, and around the visually selected code, you can add whatever you want to add. So let's do, I don't know, let's just select this here. Now we do Shift S, and let's add here here in the lower line, it says enter output surrounding identifier. And then maybe you want to add quotation marks or whatever. It doesn't make sense here, but just to show you how I use it. So this is super handy. That's a great addition. That's also not something you absolutely necessarily need, but it is so handy, so useful. It is definitely recommended, I think. The vim-visual-multi plugin is also really cool. Let me look for a use case that makes sense. So with Control X, that's the key map I use to activate the plugin. So let's just say I want to add something to each comment in the general section here. I want to add the same text at the beginning of each comment in the selected lines here. Okay, let's go up here. So with Control X, I activate the vim-visual-multi plugin, and then with N, I select the next one. Maybe I just want to select all of those. Then with A, I go behind the selection, and now I can add something at the same time to every line here. Like, I don't know, maybe it's attention or whatever else, it doesn't matter.